Greetings, sea stars and sun stars. Greetings, patriots. I am Empress Aziza. What if I told you I have some piping hot information to share with you? And it revolves around CERN and the shift that we are presently going through. And it also includes information about the Dragon Queen Merida and what has happened with the volcanoes right here in the Caribbean and South America. Well, I am going to share that with you, and I know you are going to be like, oh my goodness. Well, I want to say, first of all, TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes. Nothing I'm saying is true, and nothing I'm saying is going to make sense. So, I am going to share some infographics with you. These are infographics I created from notes that I have in my arsenal, and I wanted to share them with you. I told you that Barbados is holding this reality together. For decades, we were told that Barbados was just a tourist destination. But really and truly, Barbados sits on something called the accretionary prism. It is Earth's backbone in this hemisphere. Barbados isn't like all the other islands. It is the only one sitting on the Caribbean accretionary prism. This is a giant wedge of rock and sediment that emerged from the Atlantic Ocean when the North and South American plates collided. This prism runs the whole East Coast. For years, this pattern didn't make sense. And with the shift in energies, the island has started to release her secrets. The Dragon Queen, Merida, is a living consciousness of the entire Caribbean basin. For 11,000 years, they used the beacon to drain her energy, but now she's fighting back. The Dragon Queen Merida is a living consciousness of the region. Barbados is her beacon, it is her sentinel. It is the only landmass positioned to monitor and broadcast for the whole basin. In Keylontic science, this is called the Akasha, and the Akasha is the God worlds, and it seeded Stargate 3 and the Vecca Watergate, of which Barbados embodies. Above the Akasha is the God worlds, and this is the architecture that built this place. We have the Earth Kundalini energy that moved from Tibet into Peru, South America, and that has reignited the emerald grid, which connected all of the crystals to the Atlantean energy. So how were they siphoning this energy? They inserted 3 cubes into the island, the north, south, and the highland areas of the island, deep into the accretionary prism. Before these cubes were flipped, they were used by the Akasha to anchor and stabilize the planet. It was during the Atlantean Wars that these cubes were flipped. These cubes are called the Net Muron caps. So by hijacking these cubes, they were no longer broadcasting for her, they were broadcasting for the Archons. So this is where CERN comes in, because CERN were using the beams to hit Barbados. They were using something called the Anubian black hole harness, which were actually using these rings counterclockwise to keep the cubes locked. Through you and your energy, your life force, which is a planetary life force, was being siphoned through the accretionary prism, which was routed off-world to Nibiru's artificial matrix. As I've said often, we are on Nibiru. Every time CERN fires up, it opens a scalar wormhole that lets Nibiru draw more energy from the planet. What has happened recently? The Guardian sent 2 pulses up the Dragon Queen's spine, which interrupted the energy flow or the siphoning of this energy. This, in turn, with a blowback, created the earthquakes in Venezuela, the 7.1 and the 7.2. We also had the same thing in 2021 when the volcano in St. Vincent imploded. That's how potent this energy is. The 12-dimensional fire that is presently permeating what they call the ring of fire. This comes on the heel of the Lassoufre volcano, which erupted in 2021 in St. Vincent. This was the first first destruction of one of the cubes buried deep in the accretionary prism in Barbados. Jenny is also active, and this is coming from the south of the island of Barbados or the accretionary prism, and this is in progress as we speak to destroy Cube 2. So, this is one of the reasons for a lot of the sargassum seaweed for the last 3-4 years that has been coming up around the island. Now, Cube 3 is a little tricky because it is in the highland part of the island, which is the St. Thomas region. There we have lots of what they call mud volcanoes. But the thing is, with this cube, it is double cube and it is still being fed from where the Azores Islands. This is though is in its final stages. CERN went offline because the Guardian Alliance ran the Akasha Maharic Shield. This is God World frequency. It sealed the cubes. So no anchor, no siphoning, no data. It made CERN shut down. So when a sentinel or the beacon is clean, the siphoning ends and the beacon does what it is supposed to do, broadcast the crystal bridge energy. I have so much more to share with the Barbados Watergate and what is happening right here in the Caribbean with you in the very near future. This is deeper than you could ever imagine, but you get to play a major role in everything that is unfolding. I am Empress Aziza. See you in the next vlog.